Is there a
Yeah.
scene from your past career, now that you know what it means to be a filmmaker and to look through the lens, that you wish that you could have directed yourself? Not because you would have necessarily done it better, but just to know what it would have felt like as a director?
Oh man, probably I would have directed the dance at the end of Slumdog again and cut me out of it.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Deb, good to see you again, man. I fucking love this movie. So thank you for taking the time. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay. Good to
All right,
see
let's
you, man.
boogie, man. So when you were a kid, you used to sneak out of your bedroom to go watch Bruce Lee and Enter the Dragon on TV. And I have found interviews with you talking about Bruce Lee, honestly, going back decades. So I want to start
Yeah.
out with a big question. Imagine you could sit in a movie theater sitting next to Bruce Lee and watch Monkey Man. And when it's over, you lean over and you ask him, what do you think about how I did this? What is the aspect of this film you would love to get his thoughts on?
Now it's blanking me because I'm so excited by the notion of that. I would totally malfunction if I was, within a meter's distance of my, absolute, icon. But, there was a film he did where he was training someone. I've forgotten what film, so I'm so sorry. But he was locked up and every one of his limbs was caught. And he's like, what do you do in this scenario? And Bruce bites. And that for me is like something that I really drew from for this film is like, if you're a caged animal in a life or death situation, real survival, those instincts, it's you'll use anything. You'll bite someone's nose off. You'll do whatever you can to get out of that scenario. So I think he would appreciate that little detail.
I love that. Well, I want to expand on that because you are such clearly a movie fan, which is what I've always loved about you. And there's a small moment in this film when a character references John Wick. So I love that you have been influenced by the great. So I want to sort of hypothetically, in 20 years, when another movie references Monkey Man, what do you hope that reference means? What do you hope the next generation of filmmakers learn from this movie that they're going to take toward the evolution of the action genre?
It was like when we went to South by, we had the most overwhelming response, and there was this older, brown gentleman that came up to me and he goes, I'm jealous of my 14-year-old son, and I was like, that's a weird thing to say, and he goes, it's the first time he's going to have someone to look up to on a screen that looks like himself, and I nearly burst into tears. He goes, I never had that, expressed in cinema like this, but I hope that this is just a one of many journeys where, other cultures, and other, kind of people that wouldn't see themselves kind of on screen, we are all the underdogs of our own story, I think. And I would love to see that expressed more in the action genre, because, that's what you go to a movie to see, badass action, fun, revenge, like live emotions that you can't truly, do in real life. Otherwise you'd go to prison. Yeah.
But it's so funny to your point. Like I grew up, in the '80s, like Schwarzenegger and Stallone and like
Yeah,
those
man.
guys. So seeing, the guy who you're way better shape than I am, but seeing someone who like, it's I get what you're saying. Yeah, I want to talk about sort of the value of pain because I know on the set of this movie you dealt with broken toes and a snapped
Yeah.
hand and a torn shoulder and an eye infection. What did that pain, sort of that physical pain, give you that you were able to add to the story and the character? Like, what did you learn from pain that you wouldn't have known otherwise
Yeah.
without feeling it?
I mean, this has been the most ferocious experience of my life. It was a very low budget film. We dealt with catastrophe on set every day, and apart from the physical pain, the emotional pain of, for instance, our dear local gaffer, our lighting man, Yudi, passed away. We shot this in the height of the pandemic. And for me, it was like, having 450 people in a bubble, in an island, once my hand broke and I got a screw put in, the crew turned that into a t-shirt, this x-ray of my hand, and they're like, this is a screw that's keeping us employed and keeping this dream alive. But that was the kind of oxygen I breathed on set every day. And the main philosophy of the film is from an Indian philosophical quote, and it's the pain will leave you once it's finished teaching you. And that kind of spread through the crew, and yeah, that was our
Damn.
motto.
Dude, they're trying to pull me out of here. I'm gonna ask really quickly, is there a
Yeah.
scene from your past career, now that you know what it means to be a filmmaker and to look through the lens, that you wish that you could have directed yourself? Not because you would have necessarily done it better, but just to know what it would have felt like as a director?
Oh man, probably I would have directed the dance at the end of Slumdog again and cut me out of it.
No, sir, I won't allow it then. I won't allow it. They're pulling me out of here, man. But
Yeah.
seriously, thank you for always
All
just
right.
continuing to do amazing work. And I hope this is
Thank
the
you.
first of many directorial efforts, man, because you absolutely fucking crushed it. Thank you.
Wow. Appreciate you, man.
Good
Thank
to
you.
see you, buddy.
See you. Bye.
going. We don't need roads.